What are you insecure about? Story 1. My intelligence. I'm not dumb by any means, but I know my brain doesn't work as efficiently as it could. I can't do math, and reading takes me a little bit longer than usual. And due to some mental health issues, my brain gets overwhelmed by a lot. But I know as an artist, that takes a lot of knowledge about form, shapes, perspective, color theory, anatomy, and lighting. I also know science and history for some reason. Sadly, intelligence is measured in mathematics, literature, and problem solving, which is where I'm lacking. But my ability to draw a realistic dog, or my knowledge about the progression of mental health through the years is just a cool party trick to some people. I know I'm not dumb, but sometimes when I'm looking at some basic math problems, I feel it. Answer. Sadly, intelligence is measured in mathematics, literature, and problem solving. Says who? Plus, I really think that the overwhelming majority of people struggle with math. Heck, I even remember a brilliant math professor that told me even he struggles with math if he did not solve some problems in like 3 months. Like any other discipline, I would argue that math is less about intelligence, but about how much time you put in it. You can't just not do math and one day stumble upon some problems and expect yourself to be a genius and find the solution right away, and that's not how it works. And people who do find solutions in a pretty small time are people who actually do math on a regular basis, and this is not only about math, but any other discipline actually. Besides, it is not the only way to measure intelligence. I have known many smart, sharp people who could debate complex philosophical ideologies and remember so much information and have so much knowledge and have freaking cool lives who were dumb logs in math, LOL. And as long as you're living a good life, why even bother being insecure about your intelligence? Isn't intelligence all about living a good life with little suffering and pain as possible? Story 2. Being mentally ill. It's hard to believe anyone would want to be around me when I keep getting myself into so many messes. It's hard to understand that I'm not failing because of a lack of effort. My brain just has different wiring. Story 3. Used to be insecure about my small male body part, but turns out most women literally don't care at all as long as you're not a douche and are willing to take care of them in other ways, toys, tongue, etc. Story 4. My body. I was active at a professional level for much of my early adult life. Once I decided to leave and change careers, I did not practice the same habits due to the all-too-consuming nature of the new job. Starting to work on the balance now, however, it's challenging to not see myself negatively, as even coaches used to say I was overweight when I am 6 foot and was 180 at the time. Story 5. Most of my insecurities are ego-based, such as the image I have of my body, my face, my stomach, when I'm more bloated than usual after eating. But I think above it all, what makes me most insecure are my own thoughts. I can overthink for hours, looping, am not sure it will ever stop, that it gets more relaxed. I'm not sure I will ever experience that kind of peace. Story 6. Little about my height, as it's 5'6", 5'7", and I'm a male. But my worst problem is sometimes I'm not in the mood to interact socially, and I make the other person in the room feel awkward. They start thinking that something has happened, and I dislike them. The truth is, I sometimes don't have enough confidence to speak. Story 7. My butt. I don't think I'll ever stop feeling bad about it, even though there's nothing actually wrong with it. It's just not big or curvy. It's hard for me to work on it because my own dad pressured me to. Now it feels like I'm only doing it to please him. I feel disgusting when I think about it. Story 8. My love handles. I don't know why, but my body just stores fat there, regardless of my hips. When I was skinny, I had no hips but big old flanks. When I got chubbier, I got some more hip action going on, but even more flank. It's frustrating because whenever I see appreciation for the love handles, it's always tied to big, beautiful hips, which I still don't consider myself having. Story 9. My thighs and the squishy bits on the side of my hips, absolutely dislike them. I've lost about 12 kilos lately, and none of it was from either of those places. I look slimish from the side, but from the front, I feel that I look so wide. Story 10. Not worthy enough for love or friendship. The general indifference of people. People tend not to answer me or forget me. I'm always the one who starts up or suggests something, always feeling like I'm chasing people. I really feel like I'm useless or like I'm the fifth wheel for the few times people think of me. Story 11. Male body part size. For 9 male body part to exist, some of us have to be below the 5s or 6 average. The problem is only mine. None of my partners have ever complained, and I'll happily involve my hands and face in sexy times. It seems to be the only body shaming that's still socially acceptable, yet one nobody can do anything to change. Story 12. Everything. My family has pointed out my weight and body hair. People I consider close to point out my intelligence and my strength. My ex have literally said that my tits aren't enough to make them horny. And everyone has commented about my weird fashion choice. Story 13. I have small hands. I am not a small man. My dad is about 5 inches shorter than me, but his hands look like baseball gloves. Cartoonishly large and muscular. I'm taller, thicker, bigger, but definitely got my mom's hands. They are thick, but delicate looking. Story 14. My skin, I have clear skin and never have breakouts, but I have sensitive skin. Dark knee, dark elbow, dark UA, dark groin area, and the worst of all, I can't wear shorts and skirts, even my UNIF, because of scars, as in many scars on my leg. I am thankful that I didn't experience any breakout and derma, complimenting me with my face. But even removing shoes for school activity is a big deal for me, cause baka pag-usapan nila ako. Story 15. Up until now, it's been my dark complexion and the acne scars on my face. I've gotten more comfortable with it over time, but there are still days when I feel a little off about how I look. It's one of those insecurities that stuck with me since I was younger. Story 16. Physically, the size of my arms. I'm a tall, skinny dude and very fit, but my arms just make me look hella small. Otherwise, I didn't get good enough at a lot of things early in life that take years to get good at to compete. And I've started new stuff too late to catch up. Am skilled, but not enough to be useful in anything is always my fear. Story 17. My stomach after 2 C-sections. I work out 4-6x a week and am in great shape, eat well, don't smoke, rarely drink, and I still have loose skin. It's so hard to tone. I just want to wear a 2-piece and feel confident. Story 18. No, they don't say anything, but I feel like I have nothing to show as well, but it's more of me who wants them a bit bigger, just a tiny bit. It makes me feel different, IDK, how to explain it. But thank you. I wish you a happy life too. Story 19. My job, I have a decent procurement position, but in the public sector, many of my friends have private sector jobs with a lot of perks that I often get jealous of, even if they don't necessarily make a lot more than me. And for some reason, I just seemingly can't land a position in private industry. Story 20. My cankles. The rest of my body is rather fit petite, then there's my thick jerk ankles. It sucks because I work out daily and follow a healthy diet plan. I just have shoot genetics when it comes to my legs. I've seriously considered ankle lipo. Story 21. Just everything about me TBH. From my height, I'm very short for a man. 166 million. How I look, my body build, my intelligence, everything BH. I live in constant anxiousness of, what if one day my wife, the person I love the most, left me because she found someone better? I fear that with my life, it does strive me to treat her the best I can possibly do. But at the same time, I'm afraid that I am not enough. Never enough. Story 22. Weight, height, and acne. While many people don't think I look fat and heavier than most people I know, and taller than most guys I know, I feel like I can never stop picking my forehead, and it makes my skin worse. Story 23. The fact that even though the causes of me being in poverty is clearly out there for everyone to see, and the inescapable level of it clearly not my fault in any way, shape, or form, people will still try and say, you don't have any competitive nature, and you're in this position because of your own choices, and you're a fudge loser. My mother said that to me yesterday. Imagine the person that stabbed you repeatedly telling you, while you're dying as a result of their actions that had no justification, that you made them stab you. Think of it like a woman being violation because of what she was wearing. Doesn't make sense, does it? Story 24. My body, am overweight and I used to be in great shape. Just let myself go due to undiagnosed depression and the worry that I am not a good enough father to my boy and am not worthy of his wonderful mother. Just been in a hard place for some time now. I hope I can fight my way out of it. Story 25. About my walking style. People used to comment on it that, you walk like a girl model. You will surely win the modeling and walking. But in girls, that's why I used to notice it all the time. But now I really don't remember how my walking looks, like it is natural or am I faking it? Story 26. My voice and what comes out of it. I spoke quietly and more effectively before I worked at a factory. Then I had to learn to speak at full volume all the time and also be crass and overly expressive. I'm 5 years out of that job and still can't always turn it off. Story 27. My nose and the way I laugh. I also think that I talk too much, which might be irritating to others. The problem is that when I stop talking, no one is going to say a word to me. IDK. If I'm even important to people in my life. Story 28. How to best protect my family. I've never been political, not in my whole life. I like to watch politics as a game and stand outside it, pointing fingers at the people that take it seriously. This time, it's different. There is something in the wind. I travel the world and I've just come back from 3 weeks in the Middle East. But more importantly, I've just come back from a week in Mexico City. I did not meet one person in Mexico City that was not a Trumper. A smart young man with money told me that he was sure that the Biden administration was making secret deals with the cartels, and so they love the idea of anyone that will stand up to them. They feel that is Trump. The Pax Romana was 200 years of peace and advanced the civilization of the world more than at any other time in human history. During that period of dictatorship, it was a really wonderful, peaceful life if you were a Roman. For the sake of my family and my family to come, if America is going to be a dictatorship, do I not want to be a Roman? Before you ask, no, I will not rebel. I will not be a stupid Frenchman dying on a barricade in 1832. Story 29. My stomach. I have a weird little roll of fat that sits below my boobs and makes a second pair. It's my biggest insecurity because I've never seen another woman of any weight with it. And according to my Dr. M, at a healthy weight, and yet I still have it. Story 30. My looks, my 5-inch penile structure, and weather. I will be able to please my wife in bed with it. The acne scars on my shoulders and back, acne scars, and acne in general on my face. The fact I wear pretty much the same 4 or 5 outfits week to week. Story 31. My body. It sucks. My abdomen is too big. My thighs are too big. My butt looks just awful full of cellulite. My arms are too big. Even after losing weight, everything is just too big. And I know it's mostly loose skin, but still, I just wish I was pretty. It is so vain and I dislike it, but I can't seem to get any kind of control over that thinking. Story 32. Being worthy of love. I have never had problems attracting women, but just about every relationship I end up in turns out to be ruinous in the end. My current relationship contains some of the best memories of my life, but it is at an all-time low at the moment, and I am afraid of what is to come. These are the times I think maybe I am somehow not meant for being with someone, even though it's the one thing I truly want. Everything else I have going for me. I am financially stable, and given the current economy, I am really thankful for this. I work a job I really like. I have some amazing friends. Still, there is this one aspect of my life I just can't seem to get right, but have to watch everyone else get married, become parents, etc. Story 33. My acne. I remember back when everyone in my school year was starting to get spots on their face and thought nothing of it. It's normal. Fast forward to last week, I graduated from secondary school and noticed basically everyone no longer had any acne but me. I only really have any acne on my chin and around my mouth area. If it was even just a bit more spread out around my face rather than in one area, I'd feel less insecure about it. Story 34. GF of 6 months broke up with me 3 weeks ago. Not sure what I did wrong and feeling like I won't have a connection again. I know that's ridiculous, and I've been through breakups before. I just feel so lonely and inadequate. Story 35. Kind of a strange one, but how good I have it. Everyone I knew when I was a kid is, or at least seems to me, but it could just be French people, unhappy. It makes talking about life so strange and kind of awkward when they see everything as terrible. Story 36. My arms and being pale. I started to lift weight, so the arms is pending, but I'm pale in Florida and I don't mind being pale, but I notice comments on it or everyone always telling me to tan and I don't want to. I'm just extra aware of how I look glow like a worm Lowell. Story 37. My legs. I have chronic lymphedema in my right leg. It's pretty noticeable. I am susceptible to cellulitis infections from cuts and scratches, so I can't even shave my legs. It's pretty defeating beauty-wise for a woman. Story 38. That I'm not good enough for someone to stay long-term and want me, and not also other people, since social media and other things make it seem harder for monogamy these days. There's just temptations everywhere, and to someone who already struggles with own insecurities, it makes trusting harder. I am getting a lot better with this now, though, and realize it's my overthinking that can sometimes cause these feelings, and I've found a good one. But darn does it suck to worry. Story 39. I have a light stutter or stammer. It isn't super bad, and I don't commonly get stuck on words or anything for too long, but especially in ongoing conversations or group discussions, it can be very difficult for me to jump in and say what I'm thinking. I've gotten used to just letting thoughts I have come and go and give up on speaking them because of this. People that have a habit of talking over others, and especially people that constantly point out or make fun of my stutter, I'm just immediately soured with. It's never just a joke with me, and people apologizing and then continuing to Talk over me don't help at all. Story 40. I can't form deep relationships with anyone because I have too many secrets and I can't let anyone see who I really am. No real, true, deep friends or romances. After about 5 minutes, people lose interest in talking to me. Story 41. My lack of dating experience. I'm not like some repulsive manosphere shithead or terrified of women. I actually get along with women very well in non-romantic contexts. I just have anxiety that makes it next to impossible to make the first move and destroys my confidence. And I feel like when a lot of women look at guys my age who have never been on a single date, it's very easy and even prudent to wonder what's wrong with them that makes women stay away, which just makes my anxiety and lack of confidence even worse. Story 42. Not a whole lot physically. I think I'm very pretty, but I do have a lot of health conditions that make me look pale and sickly all the time, and it kind of ruins it. Oh, and my boobs. Nothing wrong with them. I just don't like having them. They feel wrong on me. And my fingers, covered in scar tissue from years of biting, I guess I'm more insecure about my appearance than I thought I was. I'm more insecure about my complete lack of social skills, though. XD. Story 43. I'm a Penn Badgley lookalike, and people often say, don't take it personally, but you look like Joe Goldberg. I always take it personally because it's often followed by a rant on how he's a bad casting choice because he's too ugly to be that successful with women, or just jokes about the fact that I'm probably a dangerous person. If I follow the joke, people think I'm a creep. If I don't follow the joke, they think I'm creepier. Story 44. I've got a crossbite that makes my smile terrible, and I only bite on one tooth. I have seen orthopedic surgeons, and they say that if I got the stuff done, it would be 2 months until I get to remove the wires holding my mouth shut. And I don't know if I can do that being in school and having a job. Story 45. I had already taken a month's worth of gym membership, but I'm scared to go. It's a women's gym, and I had been there for a month last year, and now I paid again in the hopes of hitting the gym consistently. But I'm scared, anxious mostly, because they all know that I'm an introvert already. I'm scared that I might do something stupid. Story 46. If I am enough for my family, I work in a very well-paying, high-stress, high-performance job where people's lives are often in my hands, and one big mistake can either eliminate someone or seriously harm them. I try to give my family the same attention I give my work, but I feel like I regularly fall short. My wife always tells me that I am an amazing husband and father, but between my own insecurities and how her family treats me, I feel like I am absolutely not doing enough. Story 47. My intelligence and weight. I've always done really bad in school and failed almost every class I've taken. I'm not stupid, I just wasn't made for school. My weight, I know I'm not fat. I'm 52 and like 104, but I've been told by people my age that I'm fat. I got sick a couple years ago and was 86 lbs and still got called fat. It sticks with you forever, unfortunately. Story 48. Honestly, feeling like I'm too much and not enough at the same time. Like I'll overthink something I said 3 days ago, but still feel like I'm not speaking up enough. It's weird how your brain can hype you up and tear you down in the same sentence. Story 49. As a woman, not having the expected childbearing hips almost every girl has. Hell, I have none. Straight vertical line from waist to thighs. I am the only woman I know with this horrible build. Both my mom and sis have rounded hips and a tiny waist. When I was young and skinny, it wasn't a big deal since I had a very minuscule waist, but now that I'm fat, it's just horrible. I cry myself to sleep almost every night knowing that I'll never feel feminine enough. Story 50. Darling, if your mind replays your words, it's not to punish you, it's because you care. That's not weakness. That's awareness dressed in anxiety. You're just tuned in too sharply. Learn to turn the volume down, not off. Story 51. Even since I moved to uni, I have found it so hard to make friends, and am living on campus. It's easy to meet people and become acquaintances per se, but to actually transition to the next level of being a friend you hang out with and/or talk to often is so hard. Story 52. I was thin my whole life, had to take antipsychotics for a while, and ballooned up to 320 lbs in my early 20s. Now, I'm 158 lbs, and feel your pain. It's obviously an improvement, but still a slap in the face. Story 53. Sadly, intelligence is measured in mathematics, literature, and problem solving, says who? Plus, I really think that the overwhelming majority of people struggle with math. Heck, I even remember a brilliant math professor that told me even he struggles with math if he did not solve some problems in like 3 months. Like any other discipline, I would argue that math is less about intelligence, but about how much time you put in it. You can't just not do math and one day stumble upon some problems and expect yourself to be a genius and find the solution right away. That's not how it works. And people who do find solutions in a pretty small time are people who actually do math on a regular basis. And this is not only about math, but any other discipline actually. Besides, it is not the only way to measure intelligence. I have known many smart, sharp people who could debate complex philosophical ideologies and remember so much information and have so much knowledge and have freaking cool lives who were dumb logs in math, LOL. And as long as you are living a good life, why even bother being insecure about your intelligence? Isn't intelligence all about living a good life with little suffering and pain as possible? Story 54. 35, and felt the same way for the last few years till my mom sent me a podcast, Mel Robbins posted on 41425, that explores these timelines and feeling behind in life. Puts a lot of things in perspective on how much things have changed over the last 100 years when these social timelines were established. Story 55. Hey man, same here, my male body part curves a bit to the left too. Honestly, it's not a flaw at all. In fact, a little curve can actually hit the right spots during intimacy, especially when it comes to G-spot stimulation. I've found partners often appreciate it. Bodies come in all shapes, male, body part included, and uniqueness is something to be insecure about. Aussie Mata. Story 56. TBH, I met someone with a curved male body part, and it was strange to me. Only had intimacy like twice, and maybe we didn't quite mesh well or something, but it was uncomfortable for me. Everyone has different preferences. I have heard some who prefer it, so. Story 57. Have partners had issues? Or is this more an on you? I've dated skinny women with little and decent-sized breasts, and big women with big breasts and smallish breasts. If you find a partner that loves and encourages you, they don't care. They'll love you with their all. I wish you a happy life. Story 58. Meanwhile, I absolutely dislike mine, and they're at least D, I think. My sports bra is 34G, but since I lost over 100 pounds, they deflated, and the sidewalls are even worse. The G part of my sports bra is more to hold the skin all in, but I told my sister if I had the choice, I'd just cut it all off. Don't reconstruct it. I've always disliked having boobs anyway. Sometimes I think there might be a tinge of gender dysphoria there, but I don't think I'm the wrong gender. I just dislike having bags of sand on my chest. Lol. Story 59. I'd rather have decent size ones or none at all, and I know they're supposed to be asymmetrical, but mine look two completely different sizes and I fudge dislike it. Can you at least try to look the same size for crying out loud? Story 60. I'm going to paste a comment I made in a similar post a couple days ago. Honestly, I think having a big male body part is a negative. I think I'd prefer to be bang average. According to this website, gives you percentiles of sizes, I'm in the 98th percentile, and I'd much rather not be. Unless their molar teeth are pretty wide set, you won't get past them without unavoidable hitting, which really hurts. When you're super horny, your brain can somehow ignore this, but it really hurts afterwards. Therefore, deep throats are off limits. There are also certain positions that people can't do without major warm-up and a fair big of lube, so you tend not to do those because it's so much effort. And even positions you can do that are normal, you have to be constantly aware of how much you're putting in, as to not smash into their cervix and causing them considerable pain, which takes some of the enjoyment out of intimacy altogether. Didn't mean to write an essay, but TLDR, big male body part are glorified by the internet, but in reality they aren't much fun too. Own. Story 61. If it makes you feel any better, at least it's not HTTP. Not that there's anything wrong with HTTP. There's plenty of people out there who have no problem with HTTP. It meets their needs just fine. ETAS. Story 62. Cancer sucks. I have a friend who beat cancer. He still smokes and drinks all the time, but he beat throat cancer and can still talk. Have faith in modern medicine. They're finding new ways to beat cancers every year. I wish you prosperity and a good outcome. Story 63. People can get bent. Pale is cute. And one has to be careful with the skin because the sun is unforgiving. Give me being a glowing beacon over being terrified because too much sun exposure might end me. Story 64. I am not that poster, but I'm in the same position, it's better, when the loose skin trips my body. Dysphoria like crazy too. And it's like fat, 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 fat. I could get surgery, but it's expensive, and my sister got it, and that recovery looked bad, LOL. My whole body looks like a melted candle, lol. Story 65. I agree with you, including weights would definitely be more efficient, but some people have to work up to that via calisthenics. I also feel the term glute workouts also encompasses both calisthenic and weighted workouts. Story 66. Also entirely possible it's beyond their control. You can go to college, pay off all your debt, get a good job, and still have medical debt bankrupt you in less than a year. At least in the US. Once had a coworker who was homeless because he got hit by a car and broke his back. Story 67. There is plenty of give with bodies. Remember that the male body part is a muscle, it's not rigid, and the inside walls of the vaginal canal is muscle. It's really just all squishy, and you may even straighten out some while inside someone. Story 68. I think so. When I lost my weight, I did it really fast, and I didn't pick up weightlifting until the first 60-70 pounds is gone. I've read going slower, and weightlifting exercise helps. If I could do it again, I would have eaten a little more and at least did lifting, but at the time, I just wanted the weight off. I lost 130 pounds in a little over a year, though. Without weight loss surgery, too, so it was quick fast. And yeah, I wasn't sick or anything. I just had something happen that just snapped my mind right into place about what I was eating. Edit. I think either time and genetics plays into it too, though. I've been eating collagen for a while also, but it's been like 3 years since I lost my weight, and I think I've slowly noticed it getting better. Either way, Having loose skin is far better than feeling like shoot physically and mentally while overweight. I literally feel 20 years younger, and I'm only 33.